Hi everybody, it's Miss Jane and I'm cooking from my own kitchen today. What we're going to make is my English muffin bread, and it's a really great bread. It's very tasty, it's very easy. If you've never worked with yeast, this is the one to start with. It's really wonderful. Let me show you what it looks like. It looks like nothing much, but boy, when you cut it and toast it and butter it, it's heaven. Okay, so I've started out with, this will take about 5.5 or 6 cups of flour, but I've started out with 3 cups in my bowl. And I want to show you how it's best to measure flour for bread, because you have to kind of sprinkle it in like that. I know that sounds fussy, but you don't want to just have a big clump of it, because then it's not really measured the way bread flour should be measured. So we'll use that in a little bit when we add some more. Okay. All right. My milk and water combination, 2 cups of milk and 1/2 cup of water, have been started to heat, but I'm going to heat them up the rest of the way. They need to heat to be about 120 to 130. And you don't need to remember all this, because I'm sure we'll have the recipe on our website or in our social media, someplace that you'll be able to find it. I sort of guess at what it's going to take. All right, so that's that. Let's get the rest of our dry stuff in. So, we need 2 packages of yeast, and I buy my yeast in bulk, like this, because I do a fair amount of bread baking. But those little yellow Fleischmann packets are perfect. This is 2 packets worth, so that makes it kind of easy. Usually they're in a strip of 3, or you can buy yeast the way I do. All right, so the yeast goes in here. It's 4.5 teaspoons if you're doing it the way I do, but you probably won't. Then a tablespoon of sugar, and we've measured it out already. That's a tablespoon. That goes in next. And then 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, which is this kind of stuff, the one in the square box. Okay? I don't mean to be patronizing, but so many people don't bake and aren't comfortable with it, and I just want you to be comfortable. All right, there's that. And then, lastly, 2 teaspoons of salt, just regular salt. All right, so we just sort of mix that up. Yeah. All right. Then let's get out our milk. And I always like to see what the temperature is, because you don't want to put it in too hot. My note says between 120 and 130 degrees. So this is inching up toward 100. Chloe's having to do quite a bit of maneuvering to get in. All right. It looks like it's pretty much stopped, and it's about at 125. That's pretty darn good guessing. Okay. My recipe, which is ridiculous in this way, says add the dry ingredients to the wet ones, but that just doesn't make sense, and it doesn't make any difference. So I'm going to start stirring this. You just want to get all the dry stuff kind of wet. All right. Already smells yeasty. I'm sorry we don't have smell-o-vision for you. Okay. So that's the story of that. All right. We're going to stir in the rest of the flour in a minute to make a stiff batter, but I want to show you a couple of things. Did we show the bread? Okay. So this is, I do mine in glass pans, because then I can microwave it and it cooks really fast. But you don't need to. You can use a regular bread pan, and it kind of doesn't matter. I know some bread pans are 5 by 9, some are 4.5 by 8.5. It doesn't really matter. This will just be the size it is. First thing you'll do is grease the inside like that. And the next thing you'll do is sprinkle a little cornmeal. And it's kind of a silly process because I always end up getting cornmeal, you know, where I don't want it and not where I want it. But, you know, I'm a human baker. What can I say? It doesn't matter. You can see there are little places where it hasn't adhered to the shortening, but that doesn't matter. It just gives it a nice little crunchy outer thing. So I'm going to show you how I do this. Spoon, cornmeal, and I just start out. Can you get that all right, Connie? Like that. And I kind of just roll it around a little. And you end up with cornmeal all over your butcher block, but you know, that's bacon. All right, and I just pour the rest of it back in. Alrighty, that's that. So those are ready. I'm gonna get that out of the way. Goes here. Now let's start adding the rest of the flour to this. You can see it's kind of it's sticky, I guess is the best word. But you can see it's kind of all gone together nicely. But it needs a little more. So that's number 4. Number 5. And it's kind of funny, you never know how much it's going to take. It can depend on the weather and how much, you know, the season, how much moisture there is in the air of your house. It's all kind of weird, but mine generally I feel takes 5.5 cups. It's nice and sticky. It smells yummy. All right, so we'll just do another little smidge in here. Okie doke. Don't be afraid to get your hands in it. It's kind of fun. It's nice and warm. That's kind of a rough kneading motion, but that kind of gets it done. You can turn it over. You just kind of want to get as much. And you kind of will know. I mean, when it really won't take any more, it really won't take any more. Thanks, Bubby. All right. Pretty darn good. Oh, it's still so nice and warm. Okay, that's it for that. We're almost done. This is the part that's always kind of funny because I never, ever have got the 2 loaves the same size. It's always one smaller than the other. But I sort of try. I guess if you were a fuss budget about it, you could measure, you could weigh it, you know. That's what Julia Child would do. But, you know. All right, and I just sort of, you know, fiddle it into a decent looking kind of thing. Right. And then you plop her right in there. And it looks like nothing now, but you wait. Okay? Yeah, this one's going to be bigger. Good thing I gave myself that caveat. All right. That's it. And then my original recipe doesn't say it, but I always sprinkle a little bit of cornmeal on the top because I kind of think it's pretty and it's a little bit crunchy, even though most of it tends to fall off. All right, so what do we do with it? There it is. Okay. All righty. Now, my recipe says cover and let rise in a warm place about 45 minutes. But I make it, because I make it in the glass ones, it sometimes doesn't take that long. So, there we go. All right, so we're just going to cover those and let them sit. I'm going to clean up stuff. I'm going to keep kind of taking a peek at it. You want to bake it when it's, you know, it's risen up about the top of the pans. It'll rise more when it's baking, but not much. It's a fairly solid dough, so it's not airy like, you know, some things. But anyway, so that's that. We'll be back with the rest.
Do you want to cut open your loaf?
Oh yeah, let's cut you a slice. I think Chloe's dying for a slice of toast because I wouldn't let her have any. I get to watch my back while I wash my hands a little bit. All right. Get this one out. All right. That's what it looks like. I like English muffin. Gotta get my hand dry because otherwise it's gonna slip on the knife. That's about how I slice it. I'm going to put it in the toaster oven, toast it up so you can see what it looks like as toast. Alrighty. This, as you can imagine, is a good time to clean up while you're waiting. Okay.
How long do you bake everything?
How long do I bake everything? All right. Well, we'll probably talk about that later. But if I bake it in the oven, I do it one at a time in the toaster oven. No, in the microwave. I do it one at a time for 6 minutes, which is lovely because it's so fast. If you're doing it, if you're baking it in the regular oven, you do it about 45 minutes. No, you let it rise for 45 minutes, but you bake it 25 minutes at 400. So that's not too bad. So we're going to let this be, and there's no coming back to it afterwards. So this is what it looks like now. You've seen what it looks like when it's done. I'll let you know how it comes out, but I hope you try it. It's not really difficult. It's pretty fast, it's pretty simple, and as I said, if you haven't done a yeast bread recipe, this is a great one to start. Good luck. I hope you try it, and please let me know if you did. It would be really fun to see them and hear that you had an okay experience. I guess that's all for now. Bye.